This is KGW News at
It's going to be a real interesting election to see what happens with that.
Oh, yes. This morning we're going to hear from political analysts after two newcomers beat out the six-term incumbent Jamie Herrera Butler in Washington's 3rd congressional district primary. A Democrat and a Trump-endorsed Republican now going head-to-head in November.
Another Portland restaurant closes its doors. It points to an increasingly familiar concern across the city: the safety of its employees.
And we are live this morning at the Clark County Fair in Ridgefield, Washington, home of this 152nd annual event. And we are talking fair food, like the elephant ears. I'll get out of the way. There you've got elephant ears. We're also talking roasted corn. How about some hand-dipped corn dogs? Coming up this half hour, Brenda, Nina, and Rodney, I will be taste testing some of this fair food with royalty. Members of the Clark County Fair Court joining us in 15 minutes to do a little fair food taste testing.
You are speaking our language, my friend. Hand-dipped corn dogs. I'm all about the elephant ears. What's your favorite fair food?
Elephant ears.
Elephant ears, yes. Yeah. So delicious. Good morning to you on a Wednesday. Yes, we are live from the fair, and it's going to be comfortable weather, it sounds like, for the rest of this week for it.
Really nice. Only about 80 today, a little bit warmer, mid-80s the next couple days. We begin with a look back at the storms that hit hard much of the Willamette Valley coming from Central Oregon the last 12 hours. Watch these storms. Now, for the most part, the cluster stayed south of Portland, but Salem got hit hard. And then watch the thunderstorms overnight blow up from Newport with lightning eventually all the way up into Astoria. At any rate, all of that has now moved out to sea. And while we could have a spotty shower repop between now and say 9 o'clock this morning, the storm threat is certainly over, and we'll see morning clouds turn into afternoon sun for a really nice day. 65 now, 70 at noon. We'll get up to 80 at 5 p.m. Some of the storm reports were really impressive, and we'll talk about those coming up in just a bit.
Sounds good. We'll see you then, Rod. Thank you. We start this morning with a live look at the futures board of the New York Stock Exchange as we wait for the latest consumer price index report for July and what it will do to the markets. We're expected to get those numbers at 5:30 this morning, so we'll give you a preview to what investors and consumers can expect come September when the Fed reevaluates those inflation rates.
But first this morning, the big story locally is the race for Washington's 3rd congressional district. This morning, there are just two candidates left after Republican incumbent Jamie Herrera Butler conceded the race to challenger Joe Kent. He's a Trump-endorsed Republican who will take on a Democratic newcomer. Let's bring in Devin Haskins this morning. And Devin, analysts say this is political fallout for Herrera Butler voting to impeach the former president.
Yeah, that's right. U.S. Representative Herrera Butler became a target of former President Trump after voting to impeach him after the events of the January 6th insurrection. She held the seat for 6 terms going back to 2010. Last night, she thanked her supporters and conceded the race. In a statement, she wrote, "Ever since I was first elected to this seat, I have done my very best to serve my home region and our country. Though my campaign came up short this time, I'm proud of all we've accomplished together for the place where I was raised and still call home." Early vote counts look to be in Herrera Butler's favor, giving her a bit of a lead over Kent. But as the counting continued, that lead began to disappear and eventually overtaken. So the question in November will be, will Southwest Washington flip blue or remain red? So the race now will be between the top 2 primary candidates, Democrat Maria Gluesenkamp-Perez and Republican Joe Kent. Both are newcomers to politics, and speaking to a crowd of Clark County Republicans on Tuesday night, Kent called for conservatives to unite and rally behind him as the candidate.
Right now, we have seen the full scope of what can get thrown at us and the unity that Republicans can have. I'm not very good at doing math, so I won't try and do it publicly. But if you look at the Republican turnout on that ticket, it will be an absolutely loud and clear message to Washington, D.C. and throughout this country that Washington 3 is one of the most conservative districts in the country.
In an interview with KGW on Tuesday, Gluesenkamp-Perez also called for unity within the district, hoping to win over moderates on both sides of the aisle.
This is absolutely a winnable seat. And it's not so much about convincing folks that they need to change their affiliation. It is about an argument of what's best for the district and who has lived experience. We can't keep electing extremists and career politicians to Congress and expect better results.
Jamie Herrera Butler's current term in Congress ends on January 3rd, 2023. Nina?
All right, Devin, thank you. We are learning more about that FBI search of former President Donald Trump's Florida home and office at Mar-a-Lago. This morning, we're hearing from Trump's personal attorney, who says the former president has been targeted by the FBI. Jay Gray has the latest.
We now know the FBI search and seizure at Mar-a-Lago is the escalation of a back and forth between former President Trump and the Department of Justice for months before federal agents broke the locks on a basement storage area and, Mr. Trump says, opened his safe, removing about a dozen boxes from his office and private residence in Florida.
I'm sure that they're claiming that there was something, terribly egregious, that's a grave matter of national security. The problem is there are no crimes committed.
Multiple sources say the investigation is centered on sensitive, highly classified documents. Mr. Trump's personal attorney says it's driven by politics.
They're scared of Donald Trump. They don't want him to run in 2024.
We believe in the rule of law, and that's what our country is about, and no person is above the law. Not even the President of the United States.
The former president hasn't officially announced.
But soon we will have greatness again.
But did post this campaign-style fundraising video online just hours after agents finished their investigation at Mar-a-Lago.
I believed he was going to run before. I'm stronger in my belief now.
Republicans have rushed to support the former president, demanding an explanation from the Justice Department, saying Mr. Trump and the GOP are being targeted. Outrage growing when late Tuesday, Representative Scott Perry, a Trump supporter, said his cell phone was confiscated by FBI agents. There's been no indication the events are connected. The FBI is not commenting on either. Jay Gray, NBC News, Washington.
Here are a couple more headlines for you on this Wednesday morning. This is a strange one. A Corvallis man discovered that he'd been shot, but he has no idea where the bullet came from. Now police are asking the public for tips to help solve this mystery. The 44-year-old man called 911 saying he was bleeding from the shoulder. He checked the windows of his apartment on Merloy Avenue, couldn't find any broken glass. Eventually, though, police found the bullet had traveled through the wall of his apartment and went right into his shoulder. He is expected to make a full recovery. Officers are now looking for the shooter. If you have any information or maybe video of what happened, you can contact Corvallis Police. For the second time in a month, a popular restaurant chain announced it's closing one of its Portland stores. Cracker Barrel in Jansen Beach shut down abruptly yesterday. A spokesperson blamed the restaurant's performance, but employees told us it was because of safety and security. This comes after 3 Portland Starbucks stores also closed for the safety of their staff and their customers. And those are some of your local headlines.
All right, updates now on the wildfires burning near us, especially the McKinney fire. It's now 55% contained. It is over 60,000 acres in Northern California, right near the Oregon border. Some of those counties down there have now lifted evacuation orders, but things can always change. 4 people were killed in that fire since it started July 29th. All the lightning we saw yesterday has firefighters watching things closely over in Central Oregon this morning. Over the past 48 hours, more than 100 fire starts have been spotted across Deschutes, Jefferson, and Crook counties. Most of those fires are small, so they're just being monitored for now. There is concern as the rain moves out of that area that some of those fires may grow larger.
Well, a viewer named Nicholas in West Salem sent us this video yesterday. What a light show, right? He slow-moed it so you can see the lightning just kind of spread out through the sky. Other viewers told us it was raining, hailing, it was windy. They could hear the thunder. All right, let's talk more about that weather forecast. Rod, you were saying that this storm system is now out to sea.
Yeah, it has. It, for the most part, missed the Portland metro area. I was really active on, my Facebook page last evening, putting out the warning. So if you put away the patio furniture and you're like, it didn't rain, just know, well, you got lucky. The storms missed you, but it did hit plenty of areas. Here's a look at what I think were some of the more impressive storm reports, starting with Lane County. That's down near in the Eugene area. 75 100ths of rain came down, 1.25 inch size hail. That's enough for a severe thunderstorm warning to be issued, and there were several issued. Lynn County, get this, 0.85 inches, 85/100 of an inch of rain came down in 25 minutes. That is an absolute deluge. Marion County had quarter-inch hail reports, gusts to about 40 miles per hour, McMinnville thunderstorms, and then basically the last big burst produced lightning from Newport all the way up into Astoria. And here's what's left of this cluster. So it basically started in Central Oregon, came across the Mid and South Valley. We had reports of people hearing thunder, and there was a little bit of rain that moved through Portland, but not much. For the most part, the state's south, and then it exploded from Astoria to Newport, and then this is what's left. And again, it's all moving out to sea at this time. Upper level low parked right here. The circulation is going to curb that stormy weather farther out to sea. We are seeing some rain out near the Idaho-Oregon border this morning. Futurecast, there's the chance we could see a kind of a remnant shower pop in the next couple of hours. Otherwise, we will be dry, and we'll see the morning clouds here on the west side get out of here and turn into a nice, beautiful sunny day. We are expecting more afternoon thunderstorms. There's 2 p.m. popping out across areas of eastern Oregon. Temperatures, we are under the clouds on 65 in the Rose City, 63 up in Kelso, Salem 61. Clouds 57 in Newport, and it's kind of a mix of cloudiness in central and eastern Oregon this morning. We have 64 degrees being reported out in Baker City, and here come my 7-day numbers. So today, just like that, is really nice. We'll have the cloudy start, maybe a shower pops between now and 9 o'clock. Otherwise, all dry. PM sun is coming. And then a little bit warmer, mid-80s on Thursday and Friday, maybe some early clouds Saturday. And then the headline of the 7-day is the start of next week. Monday, 92. Tuesday, 96. There are some models that are like 100 degrees again Wednesday of next week. Now a man who is live from a place that once had me getting mustard all over myself, Mr. Drew Carney.
It's funny you bring that up, Rod, because I have a question for you.
Yes.
What is the first thing you think of, Rod Hill, when I say the words county fair?
I think of a big corn dog with mustard all over the place.
We are talking fair food next here on Sunrise. I'm not doing this segment alone. I'm doing it with the court. Queen Emily, Princess Brianna with us this morning early on a Wednesday. We're going to do a blindfolded fried food taste test with the ladies coming up next here on Sunrise. For now, though, best smiles and best royal waves.
All right, Drew, we're looking forward to that. And don't forget, the KGW School Supply Drive is happening right now. So far, we've raised enough cash and supplies for over 2,000 students to go back fully equipped. A $25 donation helps a student start the year with the supplies they need. So to make a donation, just point your camera phone at the QR code to give online. If you want to donate in person, some of the most needed supplies are the basics: pencils, paper, crayons, and markers. You can drop off any supplies at any On Point branch, Dick's Auto Group location, or you can donate at our collection event at the Lloyd Center On Point Credit Union on Friday from 11 to 2. We want to thank On Point, Safeway Albertsons, Intel, and Dick's Auto Group for everything they're doing to make this year's supply drive a success.